Okay. Erev Tov, everyone.
Erev Tov.
There are many questions that are left unanswered regarding the story with Yosef being sold into Egypt. One of the questions that's always raised is, did he attempt in any way to determine what his father thought about it? I mean, his father may have thought that Yosef was destroyed by a wild animal, but Yosef knew better. Yosef knows he's alive. So for 20 years, he does not attempt to somehow reach out to his father. And he must have been aware of the enormous pain and anguish that his father had from the matter. So there are different understandings of Yosef. First of all, there's one shita that appears in the Gaonim already, is that it was impossible for him to communicate with his father. He's a slave to Potiphar. Later, he's in jail. So there was no possibility. So then the question is asked, but then he becomes the viceroy. He's out of jail. He has all sorts of powers. Why didn't he do it then? And the explanation that's given is then he saw all of a sudden that his dreams were coming true. And he saw that eventually the brothers would have to come down and bow before him and ask for bread. And therefore, he felt that the realization of his dream took precedence over everything else. And he felt that the dream was given to him by heaven, and that was the will of heaven, so he did nothing. That sounds a little cruel. And we find in this week's Parsha, Rashi alludes to something. Rashi says, how did it happen that the wife of Potiphar should start up with him? Now, how did he come into such a situation? And the implication being that he's not completely innocent here. So what did he do wrong? So the Medrash says, and Rashi quotes it here, Oviv Yosef B'tzar, he knows his father is sitting in all sorts of anguish. V'hu mesalsel b'saro, and he's, curling his hair, which is an expression meaning that he's only interested in his welfare and luxuries. And therefore, Kofzolov, So it jumped on him, this story with Potiphar's wife. So again, there is criticism implied here that he should have had a different concern for his father. And that even if he feels that it's his dream takes precedence, but the way he goes about it, Masalsel Basaro, that he wants to be attractive and everything, that was somehow to be found wanting within him, not to be acceptable. So it's interesting, if you look at all the Meforshim, naturally, all of this is ordained by heaven. But again, the Meforshim point out that it didn't have to happen this way. They could have gone down to Egypt in a different manner. There are all sorts of scenarios here. And that, so to speak, the family created the scenario that we read about in the Parshas. And once we accept that, so then Chazal felt that we could look and see where the greatest people in the Jewish world. Nevertheless, there was an element here of not sin, at least of negligence in their behavior and in what was going to happen here. The brothers did not tell Yaakov the truth because they were afraid to. They had a subterfuge. They took the Xonas Pasim and dipped it in blood. They didn't say anything to their father. They just said, Hakir no. Look, recognize. Haksonas bin Chaim lo. Is this his shirt or not? Yaakov jumped to the conclusion because he recognized the Xonas Pasim. So he jumped to the conclusion that Chayara, the wild animal, has destroyed him. Because I'll say that since Yaakov never said words, Titan Emes Yaakov, he never said words that were untrue. And here he said, Chayara, an animal ate him. So the Gemara interprets that Chayara, it refers to the wife of Potiphar. So there are all sorts of layers of nuance here in the story. The brothers are certainly responsible. And Yosef will punish them. Yosef also is responsible. So that's how he got into the mess with Potiphar's wife, because Masalsil Basaro. And later on, Yosef is responsible for sitting in jail 2 extra years because he relied on the Saramashkim to get him out. So Yosef also has his share of responsibility in the matter. So we see a whole complicated story in which at the end of the story, again, no one escapes responsibility. No one, so to speak, comes out clean from the matter. And therefore, that's why Chazal in the Medrash took such liberties here to explain what happened and to assess blame. Another pshat that I saw on Mesalsel Besaro, this is all the Maisa of a Simon Labonim. So while the Rebbeinu Shalom is doing great things, people are interested in their own small, petty things. In the long run of life, it would make no difference to Yosef how his hair looked on that given day. It's a small thing. But the small things identify people. And he was always concerned with that. And that's why he's described always as being handsome. And that's why it says, Vayove is dibosam ro'el aviyah, that he spoke about the other brothers badly, because he saw small things that he didn't like. And he was not willing to absorb it. He's not willing to let it go. So one of the great problems in life is to try and identify what are the big things and what are the small things. That we learned from Yaakov Avinu also, that he became a cripple because of small things. He went back for Pachim Ktanim, for small vessels that he left. He's a multimillionaire. What is this? Oh, okay. So there's some pots that he left. But again, it's hard always to concentrate on great things when the small things in life always interfere with us. And most of us know that it's the small things that provoke us, that aggravate us, that cloud our moods, make us feel bad about ourselves. So therefore, again, Chazal emphasized all of these things in the story with Yosef. In order that we have an appreciation. So that's what Chazal said. I'm doing a great thing that the heaven says. And I'm bringing the Jews into Egypt, and I'm taking care of the family. I'm going to build Klal Yisrael, and he's interested in his hair, which is a description of human beings. And many, many times we can say it regarding generations, that great things happen in generations, but the people there are very small. They don't understand it. They don't see it. They're busy with small things. That's why we have newspapers. You listen to the radio programs. It's all small. It's all Pachim Ktanim. It's all Mesalsel Besaro. But that's human nature. And human nature applies to all human beings, even to the greatest of human beings, the Shiftei Korah, the family of Yaakov Avinu, our ancestors. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer Rotza Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Zakos Es Yisrael L'Ficha Chirba Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar Aranoi Chafetz Man Tzidko Yagil Torah V'Yadir. Kaddish Rabbanu.